Good afternoon, fifth graders. Today we're on page 149 of your student journal, and we are on lesson 13. Okay, our goal or our objective for the day is today I will graph corresponding terms and find relationships. Okay, so if you notice, our objective or goal is different than yesterday. So yesterday we were finding relationships, but now we're also adding to that, we're going to be graphing them. So we're doing kind of two things we've done in the past, but now we're putting them together. So if we look at our vocabulary, there's really nothing new. There are some things just to remind us about. Something that we haven't really seen for a while, which I'm going to go all the way to the bottom, is scale. Remember, scale is the value given to each grid line. You're going to hear me talk about this when I model my two problems for you. Okay, let's look at our steps today. It says we're going to read the data. Okay. With our reading the data, just like we have done the last 2 days, let's make sure that we circle our corresponding terms. And they might be vertical or horizontal, but we're going to make sure we circle those. And then we're going to write our ordered pairs. Remember, an ordered pair is our X and our Y. And then we're actually going to graph them. Okay, so this is where it's new. We haven't done these two steps. But then our other steps are what we've been doing. We're going to use the graph to write relationships, and we might have to use that relationship to find the next point. Okay, so a few reminders is if we're going to be writing relationships, remember we might want to look back at page 137 to help us. And remember, we're looking for relationships that have to do with multiplication, division, or subtraction, which is the difference. Okay, so what does this actually look like? All right, I'm going to put down my pencil and grab my red pen, and here is my first problem. It says, given the two patterns below, write the ordered pairs and graph them on the coordinate plane. So I'm just going to really focus on this direction first. So they want me to write the ordered pairs. So if I look here, what do I see? I see an X and a Y. So that's really, those go together as my ordered pair. So my ordered pair is 0, 0. My next ordered pair is 2, 4. My next ordered pair is 4, 8, 6, 12. And I'm only writing them here because I don't have a lot of space on this. And then I have 8, 16. But remember, an ordered pair is your X and your Y. Okay, so I wrote my ordered pairs. Now they want me to graph them on the coordinate plane. So if I look at my coordinate plane, what you're going to notice is there is the X and the Y axis. I'm going to have to zoom out. But there's no numbers. They haven't put in my numbers. So I have to decide what my scale is going to be. So I first know right here, this is always 0, 0. Remember, my origin is always 0, 0. But let's look at my x's. My x's are 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. So my scale could definitely be counting by ones. I have more than enough space to count by ones. So remember, we only use a scale if you need to. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I could go farther, but I'm not really going to need to. Let's look at our y's. 0, 4, 8, 12, and 16. And look at your y-axis. You have plenty of space to count by ones. So I'm going to also do ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, and again, I could keep going, but I don't really need to. So now I'm ready to graph them. So my first point is 0, 0. Okay, my next point is my x is 2 and my y is 4. So my x is 2 and my y is 4, which means it's going to go right there. My next coordinate point is x4, y8. So x4, y8 goes right here. And my next coordinate point is x6, y12. So x6, y12 goes right here. And my next one is x8, y16. So 8, 16. Okay, if you'll notice, what I actually plotted was a line. I actually plotted a line. And I could connect them. I have a ruler handy. If you don't have one, that's okay. But I actually plotted a line. Okay, so that's all they asked me my first set of directions. I followed them. Now let's look at my second set of directions. Identify the relationship between the corresponding terms. So remember, for relationships, I'm looking for multiplication, division, or difference. So 0, 0 doesn't help me. 2 and a 4, I could say 2 times 2 gives me 4. I could say 4 divided by 2 gives me 2, and I could say the difference is 2. Okay, 4 times 2 gives me 8. 8 divided by 2 gives me 4, and the difference is 4. 6 times 2 gives me 12. 12 divided by 2 gives me 6, and the difference is 6. And I think I have enough to go off of right there. So because I had 3 different patterns, I can have 3 different answers. And again, if you need to, you can look back to page 137. So I could say that x, 2, is half of y because the x is smaller. So x is half, because half is divided by 2, of y. I also could say y is 2 times x. And then the long one is I could say the difference between the x and y terms, x and y grow. I should have looked at page 137 to help me. Grow by blank each term. So what do they grow by? They went from 2 to 4 to 6, so grow by 2 each term. And I'm done. So I had 3 different answers. Okay, let's see another one. I still have my red pen, so we're just watching right now. Okay, let's look at my first directions. Given the 2 patterns below, write the ordered pairs and graph them on the coordinate point. What would be the next point plotted? Okay, so look at my x, y here. This is a little different because they're vertical. So my first x is 0, 0, my first xy. Then it's 6, 2, 12, 4, 18, 6, 24, 8, 30, 10. Okay, they want me to fill this one in. They tell me here the pattern is 6. The x's grow by 6. So 0, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. So I'm going to say that's 36. And they tell me the y is add 2 each time. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So that last one is 36, 12. And remember, that's my x, y. Okay, so now I have all my ordered pairs. We have to graph them. So if I look at my x axis, let's first put in our origin, 0, 0. My x's are 0, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. I don't know if this goes up to 36. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's not going to go up to 36. So that means I need a scale. I need to count by something. Remember, I can't just count by ones and then go to 36. I need to have multiples. So if I look at my x's, they're all even numbers, so I think I'm going to count by twos. So I can say 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19, oh, I made a mistake, 20, sorry, 22, 24, 26, it's going to be very hard to write this little, 28, 30, 32, 34, and 36, and I can stop at 36. Okay, let's look at our y's to see what scale we need. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. I think for my y's, my scale, I'm just going to have 1. Because remember, your scales could be different. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now we just have to plot them. So my first ordered pair is 0, 0. My next one is 6, 2. Then I have 12. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, I just realized I made a silly mistake there. I went from 8 to 12. That's going to throw off my entire line. So I'm going to have to pause right there and fix that. Because if I don't have my scales off, my line's going to be off. So that should have been 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, oh my goodness, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, and 36. I'm glad I did that on my own and not with you. Okay, so let's go back and plot them. We had 0, 0, we had 6, 2. Now let's have 12, 4. Let's have 18, 6. Let's have 24, 8. 30 is right here. 30, 10 would be right here. And then I have 36, 12. So again, if you plotted them correctly, and that's how I knew I made a mistake because it was gonna not make a nice line. If you plot them correctly, they should make a nice line. So that's a good way to make sure you don't make silly mistakes like I did. Okay, now the nice thing is this one doesn't ask us to make a relationship, so we're actually just done. All right, ready? Grab your pencil and let's do some. So we are on page 150. And our first problem says, use the two patterns to solve. So we have lots of directions here. It says, identify the relationships between the corresponding terms. Okay, so we could do the relationship part first, okay? So let's look at 8 and 10. Our corresponding terms are here. So what do I see about 8 and 10? Well, I know nothing will multiply. I know nothing will divide, but I know the difference between them is 2. I know the difference between 16 and 20 is 4. The difference between 24 and 30 is 6, and I think we could stop there. So we couldn't use a multiplication or division pattern, but we did have a difference pattern. So our relationship could be the difference between the x and y grows by blank each term. Okay, so hopefully you see if it's 2, 4, 6, we're going to fill in that blank by 2. Okay, so we did the first thing they asked us to do. The next thing says find, plot, and connect the ordered pairs and find the next point. Okay, so if my first x is 8 and 10, then we have 16 and 20. We have 24 and 30, 32 and 40, 40 and 50, and then the next one we have to solve for. So let's look at x. Our rule is plus 8 or add 8. So 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. That would have to be 48. And then here we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and they tell us our rule is add 10, so I'm going to say it's 60. Wow, we have some really large numbers here. Really large numbers. Okay, the nice thing is they've already added them in for us. I don't think they added enough though. We're gonna kind of run into a small problem here. Okay, so let's plot them. Our first one says 8, 10. So on my X, I'm gonna find 8, and on my Y, I'm gonna find 10. My next one is 16, 20. So on my X, let's find 16, and then let's go up to 20. And then we have 24 is my next X, and let's go all the way up to 30. And then our next one is X is 32, and let's go all the way up. Let's make sure I'm not losing that. 32, and let's go up to 40. And then we have 40, and let's go up all the way to 50. And it doesn't look like we're going to be able to plot our very last one. Now I know I didn't make mistakes if I can nicely draw a line. All right, let's try one more together, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, our second one says, use the 2 patterns to solve. Okay, so they gave us our ordered pairs. Now look at X, Y. So our ordered pairs are going vertical, and they want us to fill in an empty one as well. So if I could do my X rule is +3. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Okay, let's try this one. Our Y rule is add or +4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. Okay, so our ordered pairs are 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 12, 12, 16, 15, 20, and 18, 24. Okay, so our next set of directions say identify the relationship between the corresponding terms by analyzing the numerical pattern. Okay, so this is what we're doing. They want us to look at our pattern. So what do we know about 3 and 4? There's no way you can use multiplication to make a relationship. 3 times nothing gets me 4, and 4 divided by nothing. But I can say the difference is 1. What's the difference between 8 and 6? 2. And the difference between 9 and 12 is 3. And we could go on, but we can stop at 3. So this one, we're just going to have our differences. We're just going to have our differences. So our statement is the difference between the X and Y grows by blank each term. And what is the difference growing by? It went from 1 to 2 to 3, so it grows by 1 each term. Okay, we're still not done. Our directions now say we have to add scale and labels to the coordinate grid and then find, plot, and connect the ordered pairs. Okay, so we always know we can put the origin 0, 0. Let's look at our numbers. So our X's are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and 18. There is definitely 18 little dashes there, so I think we should just count by ones. So our scale should just be 1. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to have to write really little. If you need to pause the video to get it done, you may. Oh yes, there was plenty. I only got this far, counting by 1, so a scale of 1. Let's look at our Y's. Our Y's are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and 24. I also think we should just do a scale of 1 because there's definitely 24. So we really use the scale when we have to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to keep going. And if you need a pause, please pause it. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Okay, so now we just have to plot them. So my first ordered pair is 3, 4. My next one is 6, 8. My next one is 9, 12. Then I had 12, 16. Then I had 15, 20. Then I had 18, 24. Let's make sure I didn't lose that. 18, 24. Okay, and like I said before, if you could connect them nicely, that is your clue that you did it correct. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, those are really long problems. You luckily only have 2 to try on your own today. So you're going to be on page 152 and 153. Have a nice night.